Last time on R9 Beats Challenges, we took on Pokemon Gold with only a Delibird, that new present. And honestly, I've been only making these challenges harder and harder on myself as we go on. What if hypothetically, I took on a challenge that was so difficult, it looked easy.
Okay, he's lost it. It's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
What if we took on all of Pokemon Blue only using one-hit KO moves? In Generation 1, there are only 3 one-hit KO moves, all of which have various variables on its chances to land, and when they do,
That's a lot of damage.
and it always takes the opponent Pokemon out, regardless of resistance or typing or the amount of the HP that the Pokemon has. But how would this be a challenge? You very well take out every Pokemon with one goddamn hit! Well, the moves do have very low chances to land and very low amounts of the PP, meaning it would take multiple upon multiple upon multiple on multiple of attempts in order for a chance to beat a trainer, especially if they have lots of Pokemon. The move I will be using in this run is Guillotine, which has 5 PP, meaning if a trainer has 5 Pokemon, I would need 100% accuracy, and that just doesn't happen. We'll be starting this challenge using only one Pinsir after changing our starter to Pinsir, no items in battle, using one-hit KO moves only. Other Pokemon will only be caught for HMs. As always, shout out to Picaspri and Mah-Dry-Bread for the inspiration on this ongoing series, and I can't wait till we get to the point where people are beating Pokemon without Pokemon. But as always, guys, let's just jump right into this. Oh man, seeing that intro really reminds me of getting Pokemon Blue on my 5th birthday. My very first Pokemon game ever. Thanks, Grampy, if you're watching this right now. And bam, here we are now, today, in the present, entertaining you guys, playing a game that I truly love. 5-year-old R9 wouldn't believe me if I went back and told him now. As always, we are greeted by the one, the only, Professor Oak, who always gives us the speech about what Pokemon is in the world that's named after colors and whatnot. Then we can name our hero. He then introduces us to his grandson he doesn't even remember his name of. What a great human being. Thanks, Gramps. How could you forget my name was Butthead? I mean Pat. He then continues to spew out massive text bubbles. Then we get thrown into the world of Pocket Monsters. It's a brand new world. Okay, yes, I've reused that joke. Sue me. Once we're in the Pokemon world, the best part about the original games is that you don't have to talk to your mom. Actually, you can just leave the house as a 10-year-old kid and never come back. She never even comes looking for you. We then do the only logical thing to do after running away from your parents, running into large patches of grass infested by monsters. But luckily, just before anything could happen, our hero comes and saves us. I can be your hero, baby. I can take away the pain. He then takes us to his lab where we meet his grandson who is waiting to get his first Pokemon. He never remembered his name, so he lets us pick first, and man, I can really feel the family love in here. Since we changed Bulbasaur, hashtag the best Gen 1 starter of all time, to be Pinsir, we start the game with Pinsir, aka One Pinsmon. And I know, I'm a nicknaming genius. Making our rival start with Charmander, the hardest possible matchup of the 3. And then we engage in our first battle with our rival, and we send out One Pinsmon just to find out that we don't have any one-hit KO moves yet. Thank you guys for watching. Wow, what a hard challenge. No, but seriously guys, I really planned on losing this fight, but it just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't matter what I did, it just wasn't possible. Thanks to Pinsir's really high stats at such a low level. But now that the battle is complete, it's time for us to get our first one-hit KO move, Guillotine, which we'll learn in 25 levels. That can't be so bad, I just have to avoid all the trainers and grind off Pokemon for 14 hours. How could this happen to me? I made my mistake. It took me longer to learn Guillotine than it took me to beat the first 2 gym battles in the Aber Challenge, so that's a nice. After we finally reach Guillotine level and the run truly starts, and yes, we are massively over leveled, but it is what it is. That was the only way to do it, so forget about it. And it's time to rematch Pat. Since we destroyed him last time, I mean, we're only 3 times higher than the level of his team, so like, I don't really see the big deal. And we also have a move that one-hits this Pokemon, goddamn! Thankfully, he only has 2 Pokemon, so we can afford to miss a few times. But yes, we ultimately take him out. After clearing out all the bug catchers from Viridian Force, which was terrible by the way because most of them have more than 2 Pokemon, and it makes it very difficult if I miss a single guillotine. Also, the most time consuming part of this run so far is having to go to the Pokemon Center after every single battle to restore the PP. I save every single time before a battle just in case I get some bad luck and miss a bunch. That way I'm not using any other move than guillotine. After finally making it to Brock, it's time for the ladies' man, Brock himself, who we take out in only 2 hits. Man, is this challenge hard. Okay, in all honesty, this challenge gets extremely hard later on, but he only had 2 Pokemon and I got pretty lucky. Moving on, some of the real challenge starts to begin when we hit trainers with 4 Pokemon on one team, which is an excruciating process of resetting until the odds are in our favor. No word of a lie, the one trainer took me over 30 tries to finally beat because they had 4 Pokemon. We're gonna have to keep in mind later in the game when the trainers start to have 6 Pokemon and our current PP for Guillotine is 5. After making it through Mount Moon and defeating Team Rocket and all the scientists, after leaving the cave every single battle and resetting in front of every single trainer until the odds are in our favor, we take our fossil, and we finally take the fossil you guys want me to take the most. The Lord and Savior, Heal It, Don't Fossil! Don't Fossil or go home. Now we're in Cerulean City, and I'm going right to take on Misty before the rival battle. We're changing the future, Morty. This would mark our first gym battle that we lost. First try, that is. We're back to take out Misty's Mons out in the second try, baby. 1 Pinch Mon for the win. And now it's time to take on Pat, who has 4 Pokemon. It's fair to say that this battle will take a while. And by a while, I mean 16 resets later. But yup, it happened. This battle seems very simple, but believe me, I had to reset my life away.
I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
Now we can go through to fight more trainers. Yay! If I included every single battle and every single time I walked back to the Pokemon Center, 30 plus times to be exact, this video would be far too long. But on the way, I did catch something to help. My boy Subscribe is back! We can use the teleport outside a battle to save some time walking back and forth after battles. Instant transmission style. We restore Bill back to being a human and get a boat ticket and just head out to Vermilion City, where we board the SS Ant. We take on Pat yet again, and come on man, that's a lot of damage. We finally do the thing and decapitate all of his Pokemon, and then rub this old man's back. And oh my god, look out for that iceberg, Jack! Now we can take on War General Lieutenant Surge. After playing in the trash and finding some switches, we can finally turn off his electric fence and take on the General himself. 3 tries later and the stars align and we take out his electric mouses. And we have 3 badges of honors. Take that, Lieutenant Surge. We then backtrack to a dark tunnel, but at least we can see in the cave this time thanks to the brightness of the screen. We stumble through the dark cave, saving every few steps to avoid running into a trainer and not having a one-hit Pokemon move left. I did this once and I had to return to my last save after Lieutenant Surge. We finally make it through the Cave of Darkness and make it to the City of Spook. It's time for yet again another rival battle. Can't wait to see how many times I miss this Pokemon and reset the game until we hit him. 15 times to be exact. Anyone in the chat wondering what I'm going to do to hit Ghost Pokemon? Because I had no idea, so I had to do some thinking, and the only solution I could think of was to catch a Dugtrio and send him to my completed Pokemon Yellow version and teach it Fissure, a TM that you can only get from beating the final gym, and then trade it back in order just to hit the Ghost type Pokemon. Fissure is a ground type move that one hits Pokemon, so it will be our only other move that we can use. With Fissure, now we can take out all the Ghost type trainers until we make it to the ghosts who are blocking our path, which we'll have to come back to later. Although, now with Dugtrio, we can dig outside of caves and Team Rocket hideouts in the nearest gyms when we run out of PP. Yes, PP, I get it. Enough already. With Dig and Teleport, we are the unstoppable Pokemon Center visitor! So we head on over to Cerulean City after avoiding as many trainer battles as possible. And somehow, by the grace of RNGesus, we take out Erica in our first attempt. And we head on over to the game corner to take on Team Rocket, not so secret base, where we take them down after many Pokemon Center visits. Shout out to Dig outside of battle, by the way. Giovanni is the only notable battle here. It only takes us about 2 tries now that we have 10 PP instead of 5 PP on our one-hit KO moves. Now we head on back to clear out Team Rocket at Lavender Town, saving Fuji and earning ourselves the Poke Flute. With the Poke Flute, now we can wake up Snorlax and one-hit him and continue to head on out towards the Poison Gym leader Koga. On the way there are so many goddamn trainers! Though that this did take forever, at least we do now have 2 one-hit KO moves. But we eventually make it to Koga, and who I managed to take out all of his Pokemon with Guillotine, except for his last Pokemon Weezing, and when I send out Dugtrio after running out of PP, he uses the ultimate one-hit KO challenge move, Self-Destruct, taking out Dugtrio, but winning us the war. 5 badges down, and we're ready to head off onto the Safari Zone and tangle us some Crocs and some Golden Teeth. Yeah, all in order to get to the Outback and get safe. Now that that's all wrapped up like a willy, we can go to Saffron City after giving the guards some water. And we have to infiltrate Team Rocket yet again. This time, this has to be the most annoying Team Rocket base of all time. Stupid helipads. We finally make it onto our rival battle. Thankfully, I saved just before this battle because RNGesus was against us. And I'm not even exaggerating. 46 resets to take down this bad boy. We finally get our wish and Guillotine and Fissure our way through freedom. And I know I've never mentioned this, but there is an art to the rival battle because some of his Pokemon can't be hit by Fissure due to the flying typings. Actually, half of them, all 3 out of 6 of his Pokemon can't be hit by Fissure, so I have to manage the PP hits even more strictly for battles against Pat. Giovanni is only 5 resets, but I can't even imagine how much more time I've spent off the clock than the actual game's timer thanks to resetting the game so many times. Now that we can finally take on Sabrina, who we do beat first try thankfully, it's time to use our new party member, Radical, the surfing Lapras. We save from Saffron City's Team Rocket hideout to surf across the Cinnabar Island where Blaine's gym is locked. He's scared. Then we do the thing and return to wreak havoc on him after he locked his door on us like an angry parent. Nonetheless, we return, like the Jedi, after taking out all the trainers, kind of like Anakin took out all those young Jedi kids, am I right, boys? And it's time to take down Blaine in just 2 tries, only using 5 PP. And we're back to Viridian City where we can take on the final gym, and that's right, it was a Team Rocket secret base all along. And we battle Giovanni for a final badge, and I have a suspicion he is an R9 stand now because he has multiple one-hit KO moves on his team, but that's not even enough for the combined PP of One Pince Man and Dumb and Dumber, who take him out first try, baby! Now that we have all the Dragon Balls collected, we make a wish for all the gym badges and head on out to the final chapter, the Elite Four. It's our one final rival battle later, and yet again we have to play it safe around his 3 out of 6 flying types using Guillotine on them, and then finally taking the victory royale after 15 reset. Is this the reset challenge? No? Oh, maybe it should have been. How many times can we reset Pokemon Blue to beat it? Now that we're on our way, we do some Zelda puzzles in Victory Road and get on our way to take on the final battle of things. But before we can do that, we have to do some Blue's Clues and find some items that are absolutely necessary to beat the Elite Four, and that's elixirs, ethers, and other hidden items all over Kanto. Once we have a good supply, we are truly ready for the Elite Four. Before some of you jump to comment no items, all caps, angry emoji, it's for the in-between the battles of the Elite Four, or this would literally be impossible. I would not have enough PP to take out all 5 members of the Elite Four. I know there's only 4 of them, but technically the champion. Although I did PP up Guillotine to the max of 8 and Fissure up to 6 PP. We take on our first overarching true rival, Lorelei, not to be confused with Laura from Fire Red. Yeah, I know they look the exact same, but I can assure you that they're different people, kind of like Nurse Joy. We Guillotine her first 4 Pokemon with One Pince Man and finish off her Lapras with Fissure after only 7 resets, marking the first time we have killed Lorelei's Lapras with 1 hit. Next we Elixir, Guillotine, and take on Bruno. We 1-hit all of his Pokemon. Are you really that surprised? After only 3 resets, time for Agatha, where we'll need all of our Fissures and Guillotine. We start off with Dugtrio to take on her Gengar and reset until we get a run where we end up taking her Gengar in the first hit. Next is Golbat, where we have to use One Pince Man to Guillotine the long-tongued bat in the face. How do you Guillotine something that is literally only a head? I do not know, but she switched it out into Haunter, which we return One Pince Man and use Dugtrio just to be put to sleep and wake up on the first turn. Somehow we literally take it out with a Fissure the second we wake up, and then we go back into Pinsir for Golbat to finally get Guillotined, which we unfortunately have ran out of Guillotines, leaving it all in the hands of Dugtrio. And he only has 2 Fissures left for her last 2 Pokemon, and we get the Firest Fissure Arbok down, last Pokemon, level 60 Gengar, and we get it first try, making the most clutch victory so far after only 16 resets. After healing and restoring all of our PP, it's time for Lance. After an extremely close few battles, I solo his entire team with Pincer after realizing I can't afford to use any more fissures in case we need them for the final battle. Pat, the only guy who won't give up after constantly getting one hit more than all the professional UFC KO fights ever combined. And at this moment, I decided I'm going for it. One Pinsmon alone, by himself. I have to use rare candies at this point because if your Pokemon is not a higher level than the Pokemon you're taking on, Guillotine will not hit regardless of how many times you reset. And believe me, I say regardless of how many times you reset because I reset a hell of a lot of times to get this to work. After giving One Pinsmon all the rare candies that I could possibly give him, we take on Pat for the final battle. He opens up with his Pidgeot, Majestic Bird of the Sky, decapitated by one Guillotine. Next is the spoon-bending disgrace of an Abra, evolved Alakazam, who we one-hit and crush only on its first turn. He then sends out the first Pokemon ever designed, Rhydon, the rock dinosaur, only to have its life drained away by one Guillotine, after we missed the first try and take a few furry attacks to the face. Then he sends out Executor, the palm tree with eggs. We deroot the bastard with a few turns of Guillotine, only 2 PP left and 2 pocket-sized monsters on Pat's side. He sends out Water Leviathan, King of the Waterfalls, Gyarados, somehow not a dragon, only to be ended swiftly by yet another Guillotine. And now it's 1 PP versus his first Pokemon ever, the first Pokemon we ever took on, Charmander, who is now evolved into a full-fledged Charizard, the most sought-after TCG Pokemon card of all time, all around praises the best Pokemon ever, and it's just taken out by 1 Guillotine. Where's your head now, boy? How are you the best Pokemon? And the lights fade, revealing the new Kanto champion, R9, One Pinsman, and Dumb and Dumber, proving all you need to become a champion is one variable depending move that has a one-hit KO potential. Also, 100 push-ups, 10k run, and 10 sit-ups every day does help. Also, this challenge took more time than all my previous challenges, so yeah, it was difficult. This challenge wasn't easy just because we ended every battle with just one hit. Not all wars are won in one hit, unless they have a One Pinsman. But as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe and that like button. Have yourselves a damn good one.